It was just another Monday afternoon, or at least, that's how it started. I was cutting through the back hallway, the one that runs behind the gym, because the main corridor between periods was always a human crush. My biology class had let out a few minutes early, and I just wanted to get to my locker without getting trampled. That's when I saw him. Kevin Davies. Principal Davies' son. He was by the gym side entrance, the one with the rusty door that's almost never used. He had 2 spray paint cans in his hand, one red, one white, and he was laughing into his phone, clearly not paying attention to anything around him. He was trying to jimmy the lock, or maybe just pry the door open, with something metallic glinting in his other hand. I paused, just for a second, hidden by a stack of old wrestling mats, and watched him. He looked like he was having the time of his life. He didn't see me. I just kept walking, slipping past him and around the corner, heading for my locker. The bell for 4th period was about to ring. A little over an hour later, the whole school erupted. I was still pressed against the bleachers, the acrid smell of fresh paint fumes burning my throat, when the gym doors banged open. Principal Davies' voice, sharp and authoritative, cut through the rising chaos before I even saw his face. What happened here? Kevin was crouched beside Mr. Jensen's locker, his movements deliberate, like he was examining a crime scene. Red spray paint dripped down the scoreboard, forming grotesque crimson tears. Glass crunched under someone's shoes near the basketball hoop. And across the wall, in letters 3 feet tall, were the words, "Jensen out." "Sir, I found this," Kevin said, holding up a red paint can like it was radioactive. "Right by his locker." Mr. Jensen shoved his way through the cluster of teachers, his face draining of color when he saw the damage. "I didn't." "What is this?" Principal Davies pointed at him, his voice grim. "Don't move. Don't touch anything. I just got here." Mr. Jensen's voice cracked. "I was in the faculty parking lot. Ask anyone." "The evidence speaks for itself," Principal Davies said, pulling out his phone. "Security's on the way." Kevin stood up slowly, brushing at his knees. His eyes swept across the gym, and for a split second, they landed on mine. Just long enough for the corner of his mouth to twitch upward. A slow, knowing smile that chilled me to the bone. My legs wanted to run. My mouth wanted to scream. Instead, I stood there, frozen, while Coach Miller tried to herd students out and Ms. Chen snapped photos with her phone. The whole scene felt staged, too perfect, and I was the only one who knew why. "Everyone out!" Principal Davies waved his arms, his voice echoing. "This is now a closed investigation." Mr. Jensen looked around wildly. "Someone has to have seen something. The cameras in this section have been malfunctioning for weeks. You know that." The principal's voice dropped, edged with something that wasn't quite sympathy. "Convenient," Mr. Jensen laughed, but it was a desperate sound. "This is insane." 2 security guards appeared, flanking Mr. Jensen like he might bolt. One of them I recognized from lunch duty. He avoided my gaze. "You're suspended pending investigation," Principal Davies said, not even looking at Mr. Jensen. "Effective immediately. Badge and keys." "You can't be serious." "Badge and keys." Mr. Jensen fumbled with his lanyard, his hands shaking as he unhooked his ID. When he dropped his keys, they clattered against the polished gym floor, loud enough to silence everyone. He bent to pick them up, and for the first time, I really saw his face. He looked utterly terrified. The guards walked him out, students pressing against the doorway, phones up, filming everything. Someone whispered that Mr. Jensen had finally snapped. Someone else said they always knew he was unstable. The story was already writing itself. Kevin drifted toward the exit with everyone else. He passed so close I could smell his cologne. Close enough that when he said, "Wild, right?" only I can hear, I could only nod, my voice stuck in my throat. "Glad someone finally did something about him," Kevin stretched, casual. Guy's been on a power trip all semester. The crowd carried us into the hallway. Lockers slammed. Voices overlapped. Everyone had a theory. Kevin peeled off toward the main office with his father, and I kept walking until I hit the girls' bathroom, locked myself in a stall, and tried to breathe normally. My hands were still shaking when I washed them. In the mirror, I looked exactly like what Ms. Davies would call me later, a troubled kid looking for attention. By third period the next day, Mr. Jensen's name was everywhere. Group chats blew up with screenshots of the vandalized gym. Someone made a meme of his ID photo with busted scrawled across his forehead. In the cafeteria, I heard 3 different versions of what happened. And in every single one, Mr. Jensen was guilty. He always hated jocks, someone said at the table behind me. My brother had him last year. Total psycho about late work. Probably wanted to get back at the basketball team for something. I pushed my lunch tray away. The French fries tasted like cardboard. Across the cafeteria, Kevin held court at the senior table. He was animated, hands moving, and everyone leaned in. Someone laughed. Someone else nodded seriously. He was telling the story like he was a witness to history instead of the guy who made it happen. My phone buzzed. A text from Mom asking if I was okay, if I needed to talk to Dr. Evans this week. I deleted it without answering. The assistant principal's office smelled like old coffee and artificial air freshener. Ms. Davies sat behind her desk with my file open, the Northwood High logo on her mug facing me like a warning. I saw Kevin Davies, the words tumbled out, too fast. Yesterday, before anyone found the gym. He had paint cans. Ms. Davies set down her pen. Kevin reported the vandalism. Because he did it. My voice sounded shrill even to me. He was opening the side door with something metal. I saw him. What time was this? Right before the bell. Maybe 2:15. She flipped through papers. Kevin was in AP Chemistry until 2:20. I have the attendance record right here. Then someone marked him present when he wasn't there. Or you're confused about the timeline. Ms. Davies' voice went soft, which somehow made it worse. Honey, I know the divorce has been hard. Dr. Evans' notes say you've been struggling with, this isn't about my parents. Trauma can affect perception. Memory. It's not your fault. But when we're under stress, sometimes we see things that aren't there. I know what I saw. Ms. Davies closed the file. Mr. Jensen's locker was found open. The paint can had his fingerprints. There's a paper trail of complaints about his teaching methods. Kevin planted it. That's the whole point. That's a very serious accusation. She leaned forward. Against the principal's son. Do you understand what you're saying? The air conditioning kicked on. I watched the papers on her desk flutter. I'm saying I saw him with paint cans before the gym was vandalized. I'm saying he did it. And I'm saying you should think very carefully. Before you repeat that to anyone else. Ms. Davies stood up. I know you want to help, but spreading rumors won't change the facts. If you're having trouble processing what happened, I can send another note to Dr. Evans. The dismissal was clear. I grabbed my backpack and left before she could say anything else about therapy or stress or my unreliable, traumatized brain. Kevin caught me after lunch near the vending machines, where the hallway split toward the science wing. His friends fanned out behind him like backup singers. I recognized 2 from the basketball team and 1 from student council. Hey. Kevin's voice was friendly. Heard you've been talking to Ms. Davies. I tried to step around him. He shifted left, blocking me. Just wanted to make sure you're okay. Yesterday was pretty intense. I'm fine. Good. Good. He nodded slowly. Because I heard you've been saying some weird stuff about me. His friends closed in, not threatening exactly, but present. Watching. I saw what I saw. Kevin laughed. You saw me find evidence that a teacher lost it and trashed school property. That's what everyone saw. You had paint cans before anyone knew about the gym. Chemistry lab, he said smoothly, rehearsed. We were doing an experiment with aerosols. Ms. Young can confirm. You weren't in chemistry. Attendance says different. Kevin tilted his head. But hey, maybe you're confused. Lot going on in your life right now, right? Parents splitting up, therapy appointments, all that heavy stuff. My face went hot. How do you, small school? People talk. He shrugged. I'm just saying maybe you should focus on getting yourself right before you start making accusations. Snitches don't graduate easy around here. One of his friends snickered. The student council girl examined her nails. Especially snitches who can't keep their story straight. Kevin's voice dropped lower. You feel me? The warning bell rang. Students streamed past us toward their next class. Kevin stepped back, hands up, like we'd just been having a friendly conversation. Think about it, he said. For your own good. They walked away, laughing about something else entirely. I stood there until the hallway emptied and I was late for English. By the end of the day, I knew the message worked. 3 people I barely knew gave me weird looks in the hallway. Someone bumped my shoulder hard enough to make me drop my calculator. In the bathroom, 2 girls stopped talking when I walked in, then left immediately. At my locker, someone had written liar on a sticky note and pressed it to the vent. The handwriting was bubbly, feminine, careful. I peeled it off and shoved it in my pocket. Mom picked me up instead of letting me take the bus. She asked how my day was, and I said fine. She asked if I wanted to stop for ice cream, and I said no. She mentioned Dr. Evans again, and I stared out the window until she stopped talking. That night, I lay in bed, scrolling through social media. A junior I'd never spoken to posted a poll asking if Mr. Jensen should be fired. 87% voted yes. Someone else shared a petition demanding better teacher screening. Kevin commented on both with a heartfelt message about school safety and standing up against adults who abuse their power. 400 likes in 3 hours. I closed the app and stared at the ceiling. The truth was sitting in my head, solid and real, and no one wanted to hear it. The next morning, I started a document on my laptop. Timeline first. *** Monday, 2:10 p.m. Left biology early with a hall pass. Saw Kevin near the gym side entrance with 2 paint cans, one red, one white. He was using something metal to jimmy the door. I watched for maybe 30 seconds before he noticed me, and I kept walking. The gym was discovered vandalized at 3:45 p.m. Kevin reported it. *** I added everything I could remember, the way he held the cans, the metallic scraping sound, how his expression changed when he saw me, from focus to casual in half a second. Then I opened Instagram. Kevin's account was public, full of basketball highlights and party photos. I scrolled back to Monday night. There was a post from 9:47 p.m. showing him at someone's house, red cup in hand, caption reading, "Another W in the books." 32 comments, most congratulating him. But 4 comments down, someone named Maya wrote, "You're insane," with 3 crying laughing emojis. Kevin replied, "Sometimes you gotta handle business." I screenshot it. Tuesday morning, he posted a long caption about integrity and trust, how adults should be held accountable when they violate school values. It had 214 likes. In the comments, someone named Liam wrote, "Bro, you're a legend for reporting that." Kevin replied with a shrugging emoji and "just doing what's right." I screenshot that, too. Wednesday, he shared the petition about teacher screening. The comments were full of people praising him for speaking up, but one comment from a girl named Chloe said, "Glad you finally got rid of him, lol." Kevin deleted it within an hour, but not before someone else replied, "Wait, what?" The whole exchange was gone now, but I remembered seeing it during lunch. I wrote down Chloe's name, Liam's name, Maya's name. Thursday at lunch, I sat in the library instead of the cafeteria. The librarian, Ms. Ramirez, didn't ask why I was eating a granola bar at a study corral instead of going through the hot lunch line. I searched the school directory for Chloe Ruiz, Jr., volleyball team. I found her Instagram and sent a DM, "Hey, I saw your comment on Kevin's post about Mr. Jensen. Can we talk?" She read it immediately. The typing bubble appeared, then disappeared, then appeared again. Asterisk I don't want drama, asterisk I'm not trying to start anything, asterisk I just need to know what you meant. The bubble appeared and disappeared 3 more times. Finally, asterisk Kevin's been talking about getting Jensen fired since last year. He failed AP European history and blamed Jensen for being too hard. That's all I know, asterisk did he ever say how he'd do it? No response. The read receipt showed she saw it, but the typing bubble didn't come back. I waited 5 minutes, then 10. Nothing. At least I had her first message. Liam was harder to find. The directory listed 4 Liam entries. I narrowed it down by checking Kevin's followers and found Liam Chin, senior in the same AP chemistry class. His Instagram was private, but his Twitter wasn't. I scrolled through weeks of posts about basketball stats and video games until I found something from Monday night. Asterisk Davies really said he'd make it look perfect. Wild, asterisk it was vague enough to mean anything, but the timestamp was 10:23 p.m., right after Kevin's party post. I screenshot it anyway. Friday morning, I was at my locker when I heard Kevin's voice around the corner. He was talking to someone, laughing about something. I grabbed my phone and opened the voice recorder, then pretended to organize my textbooks, keeping the phone in my hoodie pocket, microphone facing out. I'm just saying it worked. Kevin's voice was clear, confident. He's gone. Dad said the district's already looking at termination. Your dad actually went through with it? The other voice was male, younger, maybe a sophomore. He didn't have a choice. Evidence is evidence. Kevin laughed. And Jensen made it easy, being such a jerk all the time. No one's surprised. What about that girl who said she saw you? My breath caught. I pressed myself against the locker, phone still recording. Who? The therapy case? Please. Ms. Davies shot that down day 1. No one believes her. Kevin's voice got quieter, but the phone picked it up. Dad said no one will ever believe her. Not with her history. That's cold, man. That's smart. You gotta think ahead. Their voices faded as they walked toward the gym. I waited until I couldn't hear them anymore, then stopped the recording. My hands shook so hard I almost dropped the phone. The file was 2 minutes and 43 seconds long. I played it back with my earbuds in, volume low. Every word was clear. Kevin admitting his dad helped. Kevin admitting he framed Mr. Jensen. Kevin dismissing me like I was nothing. I saved it to 3 different places, my phone, my laptop, the cloud. That afternoon, I found Maya Thornton in the parking lot after school. She was leaning against a Honda Civic, scrolling through her phone. When I approached, she looked up with the wary expression I'd gotten used to this week. I need to ask you about Kevin. I don't know you. You commented on his Instagram Monday night. You said he was insane. Maya's face closed off. That was a joke. It didn't sound like a joke. Well, it was. She opened her car door. I have to go. He framed Mr. Jensen. You know that, right? I don't know anything. She slid into the driver's seat. And you should stop going around saying stuff like that. People are talking. Let them talk. Easy for you to say. You're already the weird therapy girl. Some of us have reputations to protect. She backed out before I could respond. I watched her taillights disappear around the corner, then walked to the bus stop alone. At home, I added Maya's response to my document. Asterisk refused to confirm, but didn't deny. Afraid of social consequences, asterisk I was building a pattern now. A web of small confirmations and convenient silences. None of it was enough on its own, but together, it started to look like something. Mom knocked on my door around 8 o'clock. Dinner's ready. Not hungry. You didn't eat lunch? I had a granola bar. She opened the door anyway. What are you working on? I closed my laptop. Homework. You've been on that computer for 3 hours. Mom sat on the edge of my bed. Dr. Evans called. She said you missed your Wednesday appointment. I forgot. She said you've missed 3 appointments. I didn't answer. Mom sighed, the same tired sound she'd been making since Dad moved out. Honey, I know school is hard right now, but you can't just stop taking care of yourself. I'm fine. You're not fine. You're obsessing over this thing with Mr. Jensen. Her voice went soft. The school investigated. They found evidence. Sometimes we have to accept things we don't like. What if they're wrong? Then that's for the adults to figure out, not you. Please eat something, Mom said. Then we'll schedule another appointment with Dr. Evans. She left the door open. I listened to her footsteps fade down the hallway, then opened my laptop again. The document was 17 pages now. Screenshots, timestamps, names, quotes. Kevin's own words, recorded and saved. It sat there on my screen, solid and real, and completely useless because I had no idea who to show it to. Every adult I'd told had dismissed me. Every student I'd approached had walked away. I played the recording one more time. Kevin's voice filled my earbuds. Dad said no one will ever believe her. My cursor hovered over the file. Then I opened a new browser tab and typed, School District Superintendent Contact Information. The website loaded. There was a phone number, an email address, and a form for submitting concerns to the school board. I stared at it for a long time. Then I clicked Compose New Message and started typing. I sent the email at 9:47 p.m. Subject line, Evidence of false accusation against teacher. The body was 3 paragraphs summarizing what I saw, what I'd documented, and what Kevin admitted on the recording. I attached everything, screenshots, the audio file, my timeline. Then I sat there, staring at the sent folder until my eyes blurred. The next morning, I skipped first period and took the bus downtown instead. The district office was a gray building 2 blocks from the Harris County Courthouse, with a parking lot full of sedans and a lobby that smelled like coffee and copy paper. A woman at the front desk looked up when I walked in. Can I help you? I need to see the superintendent. Do you have an appointment? No, but I sent him an email last night about a student falsely accusing a teacher. I have evidence. She frowned. Honey, the superintendent doesn't meet with students without parental consent. You need to go through your principal. The principal is the problem. His son framed the teacher. Her expression shifted from polite to uncomfortable. I can pass along a message, but I'm not leaving until someone listens to me. Sweetie, you can't just. I have a recording of the principal's son admitting he did it. I have screenshots. I have witnesses. If no one looks at this, Mr. Jensen loses his job for something he didn't do. The woman glanced toward a hallway behind her desk. Wait here. She disappeared through a door marked Administration. I sat in one of the plastic chairs lining the wall and watched the clock above the desk tick forward. 8 minutes passed. Then 12. A man in his 50s with wire-rimmed glasses and a blue tie emerged from the hallway. He looked tired. I'm Dr. Albright, the superintendent. You sent me an email. I stood. Yes. Come with me. His office was small and cluttered with binders and framed certificates. He gestured to a chair across from his desk and sat down, pulling up something on his computer. I read your email this morning. You're a sophomore at Northwood High? Yes. And you're saying you witnessed Kevin Davies vandalizing the gymnasium? Yes. Monday afternoon, I saw him with paint cans breaking into the gym through the side entrance. Why didn't you report it immediately? I tried. I told the assistant principal the next day. She said I was making it up. Dr. Albright typed something, then looked at me over his glasses. You're aware that's a serious accusation? Falsely reporting a crime carries consequences. I'm not lying. I didn't say you were, but I need to understand why you waited until now to bring this to the district level. Because no one believed me. Principal Davies shut it down. Assistant Principal Davies told me to stop spreading rumors. Mr. Jensen is suspended for something Kevin did, and everyone acts like I'm the problem. Dr. Albright leaned back in his chair. You mentioned a recording in your email. I pulled out my phone and opened the file. I recorded Kevin talking to another student Friday morning. He admits his dad helped cover it up. He admits he framed Mr. Jensen. I handed him the phone with my earbuds. He listened to the entire recording without speaking, his face unreadable. When it finished, he rewound and listened again. Then he set the phone on his desk. Do you have any other evidence? I showed him the screenshots. Kevin's Instagram comments, Chloe's message, Liam's tweet, the timeline I'd built. He studied each one, zooming in on the timestamps, comparing them to notes on his computer. Wait here, he said. He left the office with my phone still on his desk. I sat there for 20 minutes, listening to muffled voices in the hallway and the hum of fluorescent lights. When he came back, he was holding a notepad and wearing the expression of someone who just made a decision he didn't want to make. I'm calling an emergency board meeting for tonight. We'll need to review this with the school's administration and legal counsel. What about Mr. Jensen? If what you're telling me is accurate, he'll be reinstated immediately, but we need to verify everything first. Dr. Albright handed my phone back. I'll need you to forward that recording and all your screenshots to this email address. Don't delete anything. Don't share it with anyone else. He wrote an email on a post-it note and handed it to me. What happens to Kevin? That's not something I can discuss with you, but I want you to understand something. He leaned forward, hands folded on his desk. If you're wrong about this, there will be serious consequences for you, for your family, for everyone involved. Are you absolutely certain about what you saw? I'm certain. Then go home. Stay off social media. Don't talk to anyone about this until we complete our investigation. Understood? I nodded. Good. Someone from the district will contact your mother later today. The bus ride back to school took 30 minutes. I missed second and third period. When I walked into fourth period English 15 minutes late, Ms. Carter gave me a look, but didn't say anything. Kevin wasn't in class. His seat in the back row was empty. By lunch, people were staring again. Not the same hostile stares from last week, but something different. Curious, uncertain. I sat alone at the table near the windows and ate a sandwich I'd packed this morning, watching the cafeteria move around me like I was behind glass. Halfway through lunch, 2 men in suits walked past the cafeteria windows. They were with Principal Davies and Assistant Principal Davies, all 4 heading toward the main office. The cafeteria went quiet for a second, then the noise rushed back, louder than before. Someone at the next table whispered, "Are those cops?" No, probably district people. Why would the district be here? I kept eating my sandwich. The rest of the day dragged. Fifth period, biology. Sixth period, algebra. Teachers seemed distracted, checking their phones between lessons. The PA system crackled twice, but no announcements came through. By seventh period, the rumors were everywhere. Kevin's dad is in a meeting. Mr. Jensen's coming back. Someone said the gym footage was recovered. Someone else said Kevin's been suspended. I didn't confirm or deny anything. I just sat in the back of U.S. history and took notes on Reconstruction like it was a normal Wednesday. Mom called me during 8th period. I let it go to voicemail, then listened to the message in the bathroom. The school district called. They want to meet with both of us tomorrow morning. What's going on? Call me back. I texted her, I'll explain when I get home. After school, I took the late bus instead of the regular one, avoiding the crowd in the parking lot. When I got home, Mom's car was already in the driveway. She was sitting at the kitchen table with her laptop open and a cup of coffee going cold. Sit down. I dropped my backpack and Saturday. Dr. Albright from the district office called me an hour ago. He said you went to his office this morning without permission. He said you have evidence about Mr. Jensen's case. Mom's voice was tight, controlled. Why didn't you tell me? You told me to let the adults handle it. So I went to the superintendent instead. Do you understand how serious this is? If you're wrong, I'm not wrong. You can't know that. I recorded Kevin admitting it. I have screenshots of him talking about it. I have witnesses who won't go on record, but no, he did it. My voice stayed level. I'm not wrong. Mom closed her laptop. Why didn't you come to me first? Because you didn't believe me either. No one did. She looked at me for a long time, and something in her face shifted. Not quite belief, but not dismissal either. Show me what you have. I pulled out my phone and showed her everything. The recording, the screenshots, the timeline. She listened to Kevin's voice twice, reading my notes while the audio played. When it was done, she set the phone down carefully, like it might explode. We're meeting with Dr. Albright and the school board tomorrow at 9 a.m. He said they recovered security footage from the night of the vandalism. What does it show? He wouldn't say, but he wants you to walk them through everything you saw, step by step. Mom reached across the table and took my hand. If this is real, if Kevin really did this, you just saved a man's career. Do you understand that? I know. But if something goes wrong tomorrow, if there's any detail you got wrong, or any part of this that doesn't hold up, it's going to fall on you. The school will come after you. Kevin's family will come after you. Are you ready for that? I thought about Mr. Jensen standing in front of the class, explaining historical context, his voice steady and fair. I thought about Kevin laughing in the hallway, so sure no one would ever believe me. I thought about the last 2 weeks of silence and isolation, and how none of it would matter if the truth stayed buried. I'm ready. Mom squeezed my hand. Then we'll do this together. That night, I couldn't sleep. I lay in bed, replaying the recording in my head, checking my phone every 20 minutes to make sure the files were still there. At 2 a.m., I got up and forwarded everything to Mom's email, just in case. Then I lay back down and stared at the ceiling until the sky started turning gray. The school board meeting room was smaller than I expected. Rectangular table, gray walls, a projector screen pulled down at the far end. 7 board members sat on one side. Dr. Albright sat at the head. Mom and I sat across from them, and the air smelled like stale coffee and nerves. Thank you for coming, Dr. Albright said. We've spent the last 18 hours reviewing the evidence provided by your daughter, along with security footage recovered from the night of the incident. We'd like to walk through what happened, step by step. One of the board members, a woman with short gray hair, leaned forward. Before we begin, I want to be clear about the seriousness of what we're discussing. False accusations against school staff carry significant consequences. We need absolute honesty. I understand, I said. Dr. Albright opened a folder. You said you witnessed Kevin Davies entering the gymnasium through the side entrance on Monday afternoon. What time was this? Around 4:30. I was leaving debate practice. And you're certain it was Kevin? Yes, he was wearing his varsity jacket. I saw his face. Another board member, a man in his 60s, typed something on a laptop. The security system was disabled between 4:15 and 5 p.m. that day. Maintenance logs show Principal Davies accessed the control panel at 4:10. The room went quiet. Mom's hand tightened on the armrest beside me. Dr. Albright pulled up an image on the projector. Grainy security footage. Time stamp in the corner. Kevin walking across the parking lot with 2 paint cans. This was recovered from an external camera that wasn't connected to the main system. It was overlooked during the initial investigation. I stared at the screen. Kevin's face was clear. His stride was casual, confident, like he knew no one would check. The gray-haired woman wrote something in her notebook. Principal Davies told us the footage had been corrupted. He said there was no visual evidence. He lied, Dr. Albright said flatly. We also recovered this. Another image appeared. Principal Davies standing outside the gym's side entrance, holding the door open. Kevin walked through. The timestamp read 4:32 p.m. Mom exhaled slowly beside me. We interviewed the custodial staff this morning, Dr. Albright continued. 2 janitors confirmed they saw Principal Davies in the building after hours that night. One said he was carrying cleaning supplies toward the gym. Another said the principal told him to skip that wing during his rounds. The man with the laptop looked at me. You recorded a conversation between Kevin and another student. Can you explain how you obtained that recording? I was in the hallway Friday morning. Kevin was talking to someone near his locker. I used my phone. Did he know you were recording? No, that's a legal gray area, the man said. Single-party consent laws in the state allow it, but it complicates things. It's still evidence, another board member said, and it corroborates everything else. Dr. Albright closed the folder. We've completed our review. The evidence is conclusive. Kevin Davies vandalized school property and planted evidence to implicate Mr. Jensen. Principal Davies knowingly interfered with the investigation to protect his son. Both will face consequences. What happens now? Mom asked. Mr. Jensen will be reinstated immediately with a formal apology. Kevin Davies will be expelled, effective today. Principal Davies has been placed on administrative leave pending further action. The gray-haired woman looked at me directly. You did the right thing coming forward. I know it wasn't easy. It wasn't, I said. Unfortunately, you may face some backlash from the community. Kevin's family has connections in this district. Are you prepared for that? I don't know, I admitted, but I'm not taking it back. Dr. Albright stood. We'll issue a statement to the school community this afternoon. Until then, I'd advise you to keep a low profile. If anyone contacts you directly, refer them to the district office. Mom and I left through the side exit. The parking lot was almost empty, just a few cars scattered near the entrance. She unlocked the car, but didn't start the engine right away. How are you feeling? She asked. Tired. That's fair. She turned the key and pulled out of the lot. They believed you. That's what matters. Yeah, but it doesn't feel like a victory yet. Just the end of one fight and the beginning of whatever comes next. The district sent an email to every family at 2 p.m. I was in English class when phones started buzzing across the room. Ms. Carter tried to ignore it, but the noise built until she stopped mid-sentence. What's going on? Someone in the front row held up their phone. The principal resigned. The room erupted. People talking over each other, pulling out phones, refreshing email apps. Ms. Carter walked to her desk and checked her own phone, then looked up with an expression I couldn't read. All right, settle down. I'm sure we'll hear more details soon. But no one settled down. The bell rang, and the hallway flooded with noise. Clusters of students huddled around phones, reading the email out loud. I caught fragments as I walked past. Kevin's expelled. Wait, his dad knew? Mr. Jensen's coming back tomorrow. They're saying the girl who reported it was right. No one said my name, but a few people glanced at me as I passed. Not hostile anymore, just uncertain, like they were trying to figure out what changed. I ate lunch outside, sitting on a bench near the courtyard where no one usually goes. The sun was bright, and the air smelled like cut grass. Halfway through my sandwich, someone sat down beside me. It was Liam. Hey, he said. Hey. You were scared. Yeah, but that's not an excuse. He looked at me. Kevin's family is pissed. His mom called my mom last night, saying you fabricated everything. But my mom told her to back off. Your mom? She said if the district found evidence, then it's real. And she told Kevin's mom that her son needs to face consequences like everyone else. Liam smiled faintly. It was kind of intense. Thanks for telling me. No problem. He stood, adjusting his backpack. People are going to talk. Some of them still think you did this for attention, but a lot of us know you didn't. Just so you know. He walked back toward the main building, and I finished my sandwich alone. By the end of the day, the story was everywhere, not just at school, but in the local news. A reporter called Mom's cell while I was walking to the bus stop. She declined the call and texted me, "Don't talk to anyone from the media, I didn't plan to." That night, Mom made spaghetti, and we ate in the living room with the TV on mute. She scrolled through her phone between bites, reading updates from the district's website. Principal Davies officially resigned this afternoon, she said. The statement says he's stepping down for personal reasons, but everyone knows what that means. Good. The district's appointing an interim principal until they hire someone permanent. Dr. Albright said they're also reviewing the school's reporting procedures to make sure this doesn't happen again. I twirled spaghetti on my fork. Do you think it'll actually change anything? Mom set her phone down. I don't know, but you force them to pay attention. That's more than most people manage. It shouldn't have been this hard. No, she agreed. It shouldn't have. The next morning, Mr. Jensen was back. I saw him in the hallway before first period, talking to another teacher near the main office. He looked the same, pressed shirt, glasses, the same steady expression he always had. A few students stopped to shake his hand. One girl hugged him, and he smiled, patting her shoulder awkwardly. I didn't approach. I just watched from across the hall, relieved that he was here and that the last 2 weeks didn't destroy him. Then he saw me. He excused himself from the conversation and walked over, hands in his pockets. Can we talk for a minute? Sure. We stepped into an empty classroom nearby. He closed the door and leaned against the desk, arms crossed, but not defensive, just tired. I heard what you did, he said. Dr. Albright told me you're the one who brought the evidence to the district. I just told them what I saw. You did more than that. You fought for the truth when no one else would. His voice cracked slightly. You saved my career. You saved my reputation. I don't know how to thank you for that. You don't have to. Yes, I do. He straightened, looking at me directly. What you did was brave and lonely and harder than it should have been, but you did it anyway. That matters. I didn't know what to say, so I just nodded. If you ever need anything, a recommendation, someone to vouch for you, whatever it is, you come to me. Understood? Understood. He opened the door, and I walked back into the hallway. The bell rang, and the crowd surged toward classrooms. I blended into the flow. Just another student moving through another Thursday. But something felt different now, lighter. Like the weight I'd been carrying finally had somewhere to rest. 3 weeks later, Mr. Jensen stopped me after class. The room was empty. Chairs pushed in, whiteboard wiped clean. He held out a folded piece of paper. I wrote this last night, he said. Thought you should have it. I unfolded it. His handwriting was neat, deliberate. Asterisk, you gave me my career back. More than that, you reminded me why I became a teacher in the first place. Thank you, asterisk, my throat tightened. You gave me something, too. He raised an eyebrow. Proof that doing the right thing still matters, even when no one believes you at first. He smiled, the kind that reached his eyes. Keep that with you. You'll need it someday. I nodded and slipped the note into my backpack. The last day of school arrived, warm and bright. Mom dropped me off early. The parking lot was half empty, students trickling in with backpacks slung over one shoulder, already thinking about summer. I walked through the main hallway toward my locker. A few people glanced my way. Some nodded, others smiled. No one whispered. No one looked away. I lost friends over this. People I thought would stand by me disappeared the moment things got hard. But I gained something better. Peace. The kind that comes from knowing I didn't look away when it mattered. And if I had to do it again, I would, every single time. Does it ever really feel like a victory when you have to fight that hard for the truth?